She's still live on YouTube right quick. All right, relax. All right. All right, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Fire Fadeaway. I'm your co-host, LK the guy, the D, the mogul, the Shogun in the O1. I'm here with a very good friend of mine, T Jizzle, live from Liberty Sizzle, aka Puffco Poppy. What we puffing on today, man?
We're still on the papaya cake rosin, but I did get my new bubble cap today, so I started the pro ball cap from Puffco. Very nice. I used
Okay.
it earlier. Got a nice little airflow. Definitely increases your cloud production on your vapor. So definitely a nice little finesse add on there for Puffco to soup up the Puffco Peak Pro. So happy with that.
The Puffco Pete Bro, everybody. The Puffco Pete Bro, everybody. Just go to your local marijuana medicinal store and go get one of those Puffco Picos. And speaking of finesse, we have some finesse deals going on as we speak and drafts that just happened. So how do you feel about the moves that everybody makes so far? See, just
Well, yeah, so free agency has popped off tonight, so we're getting Woj and Hams having a breaking news off right now of contracts and announcements and whatnot. So I think the some of the bigger deals we've got Kyle Lowry going to the Heat, which most people expected.
he
We've got
actually went. Oh shit.
Chris Paul going back to the Suns on a 4-year deal. So this man's going to play till he's 40, literally, and he's going
Yeah.
to be making that bag. Let's see what we've got. Lonzo Ball going to Chicago, 4 years,
Going to
85
Fat
million.
Town.
So that was expected as well. Derrick Rose is headed back to New York. New York has spent a lot of money. They retained Nerlens Noel, and they also paid Alex Burks a decent amount of money. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. That's what else we got? For like I say, free agency popping up. Alex Caruso is going to the Bulls, which is one of the more surprising moves. We weren't expecting the Lakers to lose more people, but like Caruso's getting 37 million over 4 years to go to the Bulls. We've got Duncan Robinson signing the biggest contract for an undrafted player ever, getting $90 million over 5 years. So shout out to Duncan Robinson for all the undrafted players out there.
90 for 5. Holy shit.
Yeah, PJ Tucker is going to Miami as well on a 2-year, $15 million deal. So he's rolling out. So that's a little surprising. I thought he would definitely re-up with Milwaukee, but someone who did re-up with Milwaukee is Bobby Portis, new cult favorite and super meme. Bobby Portis is out there, 2 years, 9 million. It looks like he took a pay cut to stay with the Bucks. So he's looked like he had the time of his life and he has a great role there. So that's a good move. So it's a lot going on. A lot of these moves were expected, but like there's a few curveballs in there. So the Lakers getting older. They got Dwight Howard again. So Dwight Howard's going back for a third stint with the Lakers. They've also got Wayne Ellington and they picked up Trevor Ariza. So the Lakers got a whole lot older, but they're going all in for a championship. Yeah, Jeff Green's going to Denver. So it's a little bit of movement going on here. See, those are some of the big ones off the top of my head. I can hit up Woj's Twitter page to see what's going on. Let's see.
uh, TJ McConnell read up with
A lot
Pacers,
of
right?
money. Yeah, I saw that. He got some good money.
37, I think. Um,
Evan Fournier got some big money to go to the Knicks. That
New
that was a big
York,
pickup. They
70
saw
something
him cook
mil.
Team USA and was like, throw that man some money.
I guess
Yeah, yeah.
we
Dwight
re
Gary
up
Trent's going back to Toronto.
Nerlens Noel and Alex Burks. We re up
Yeah,
both of
yeah.
them and kept Derrick Rose, I think.
Yeah, yep, definitely kept Derrick Rose on a good deal. So yeah, man. Oh, looks like Torrey Craig's going to the Pacers. So I don't know what the hell the Pacers are doing, but they're doing something. They said they gave TJ McConnell, like you said, $35.5 million.
Oh, we have
It's
a
about
guest.
hey.
Big Ben, aka Son Goku, aka Goku Jordan. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back to a new episode of Fire Fadeaway. How do you feel about the free agency so far, Big Ben?
People getting paid out here.
Duncan Robinson.
Hey, look.
Woo!
Get your money, white man.
Woo!
Yeah, Mike Conley's headed back to Utah for a 3-year deal, $72 million.
Saw Derrick Rose re-up with the
Derrick Rose is back.
That's a good
Jared
look.
Allen. I'm surprised Jared Allen's going to stay with Cleveland. He's getting 5 years and $100 million. So I guess I'd stay there too.
They're going to pay you to keep you there.
Yeah, but that's interesting. I mean,
love for years.
Defensively, him and Evan Mobley together could be that could be something that could be an issue going to the rim. Like I don't know who's going to the rim on them.
I was telling my boy, I was like, man, if I was the Nets, I'd try to finesse a way to get Jared Allen back. And like
they already blew that. They won. They went all in for Harden, and then he pulled a hammy.
Yeah, that's how I go. But because I like Jared Allen.
So they still got to figure out what they're going to do with Kevin Love, though. He's still there, just sitting on the bench.
Yeah, they got to get rid of Kevin Love. He fit. Now they got Mobley. They don't need Kevin Love anymore. And like I said, they got to just figure out what they're doing in general because I like Isaac Okoro. I like Darius Garland. Sexton, I see the issues with Sexton, but he's still a good player. Has his moment. He's still young. So like you can still, he showed he can get buckets, but like the fit is the issue. Like I said, Sexton may be in a different spot, would probably have a little bit more success instead of I don't know if Sexland can work as a backcourt, but we'll see. But I was surprised to see Allen re-up, but they got Mobley, Allen, Okoro, who's a lockdown defender. So like there's some defensive potential. Sexton is willing to strap down and play some defense. So Cleveland's just they got some interesting talent sitting around there. So yeah, like I said, that's what's going on in free agency right now. And that kind of leads into the draft. Cleveland, one of the bigger winners in the draft. Like I said, I think most teams won in this draft because it's such a strong draft. Like it's hard to mess this up in such a good draft class, but some teams find a way to fumble the bag. But Cleveland wasn't one of those teams. They just like, look, the top 4 picks were home runs, and you can't mess that up. Like all the top 4 teams get A's because like just pick the best 4 guys. Like Mobley, they were smart to not worry about fit. They was like, okay, we're not getting Jalen Green. Just take Mobley. Don't overthink it. Don't try to trade back or try to do anything. Like, bro, just get Mobley. You can't get wrong getting someone who could be the next Anthony Davis, who is already going to make a defensive impact for you. You pair him with Allen. Again, like I would not want to go to the rim on that combination of bigs. And Mobley's versatile enough where you can play him at the 4. He can be a big 4 or play 5 while he's skinny. So Cleveland gets an A. They get an A for their draft, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm surprised at PJ Tucker. I thought he would stay, but now he gets paid what, $15 million to just stand in the corner and hack.
They got people. Cal.
That's what's
crazy. I really didn't think it was going to happen, dog. Like I thought he was going to stay in Toronto and just chill. But damn.
Yeah, but like, how much better does that make the Heat though? Like, say, were they 10 games better, 5 games better? Like, Kyle Lowry is really good over Goran Dragic, but like, he's not putting anybody over the top.
Nope. Like, if you make it to the playoffs, you still got to play Milwaukee. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah, or Brooklyn. Like, this doesn't push them over the scales either one of those teams. So that's why I was like, okay, that's nice. I mean, like, Kyle Lowry's still a good, effective winning player, but like Miami, I don't know if they were as close as they think they are. Or it's like we got Kyle Lowry, now we're in it. Like, no, I don't think you are.
They just got veteran leadership. We got a good guy.
Like, so maybe you'll get to the second round this year. First round,
maybe,
maybe not. Still.
All right, back to the grades, man. I'm sorry. That was crazy.
Like I said, we can go in order. We can jump around. Like I said, if you go with the Pistons, they get an A. Because like that's a safe pick that you can't mess up. Cade Cunningham will slide into just about any roster and fit the 6'8", wing. He can play 1 through 3. He could be your straight up point guard, or he could just play off ball if you've already got a point guard. So it's like he's one of those players like you just pick him and he'll fit wherever and just make your team better on both ends. So Pistons get an A for not overcomplicating the situation and just like picking the no brainer. You know, they didn't take any wild trades. They didn't get off their dude. They're just like did their due diligence and they picked Cade. And I think that was ultimately right choice. So you can't mess that up. Trying to think of look at all the second round picks and all that, but yeah, so they got they got Luka Garza too. I forgot. So they got they picked some players that they could take a flyer on that may or may not work out for them. But you get Cade, your grade's an A. I don't give a fuck who the rest of your draft class is. You came away with the safest, but also like all NBA potential that Cade has. Like he has all NBA potential, but his floor is also like his floor is going to be low end all-star. Like his floor is high, his ceiling's high. Maybe not as high as maybe like Jalen Green, but overall, Cade is a much better playmaker. So like I would argue against that anyway.
If you can compare him to a player, who would you compare him to?
You said what?
If you could compare him to a player, who would you compare him to? Cade.
He's in the mold of like a Luka. Like I don't know, what I'm saying, just in terms of style. Like he's a 6'8" point guard who makes all the right reads, who can really run your team, but also like I think he's probably got better defensive potential than Luka, but maybe not as good as Luka. I mean, as fast as Luka, as good as he is, but just in that style, like he's a true playmaker at that size, not just like a big ball handling wing, but he's like, no, he's a legit point guard. He can run your offense efficiently, effectively while being dominant, or maybe like a James Harden too, or someone who can tear you up with step backs, get his own buckets, but also like can effectively destroy you in pick and roll and just cause so much stress on the defense. So he's like he's the modern superstar that you want in this league, a big playmaking wing who can play on both ends, who can bring it on both ends. So it's like that you can't mess with that. Like I said, I think the Luka type comparison in terms of 6'8" playmaker, but also drop 40 on you, also kill you with step backs. Like he can do it all. So
that like the new not blueprint, but just like what people are looking for nowadays.
Yep, yeah.
Luka, the 6'8" point guard that can do everything.
LaMelo Ball type, like everyone's going for these bigger guards.
Welcome to NBA 2K, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like what the Lakers are playing 2K right now. They just bringing in big names right now, but
we'll see how it goes. They're bringing in veterans, scrappy vets, and people that prove that they can play with LeBron, basically.
Did you say they got Trevor Ariza, the Lakers?
Yeah, they got Trevor Ariza again.
Okay.
Dwight Howard again. Like they're just getting niggas on their second Taurus with the Lakers to try to win this ring.
You know what I'm saying? Help Kobe Bryant get his 4th ring.
Hopefully they get Melo. They find a way to get Melo. I want to see Melo in the Lakers jersey.
That'd be the only way I root for the Lakers because I'm a Melo fan. You know what I'm saying? But
Melo, Buddy Hield, y'all
good. I've been hearing that the Knicks were really trying to get Melo, like they're trying to have a reunion.
I mean, that would be a bad. Yeah, but I was saying now I think about it, man, that's not the worst fit, but not really. But where are we at? Houston. I think Houston was one of the biggest winners of the draft, honestly. Like Houston, they accelerated the living hell out of their rebuild. They obviously got Jalen Green. I mean, you pair him with Michael Porter or even John Wall, that's must-see TV in your backcourt. That's windmill dunks, alley-oops, and buckets. Like that's I want to see that.
Green too, man. He was looking like Michael Jackson at the draft.
Yeah. I mean, came with the sparkly suit, the drip. Like my man came with all the confidence. The bell bottoms out there.
Too.
Yeah,
bell bottoms.
They drafted sweetness from roll bounce.
Came with all the drip, but it wasn't even beyond Jalen Green. They took one of my favorite big man prospects. They took Alperen Sengun from my Thunder, who just wanted to get more first round picks. I was like, yes, we got Sengun, and he's traded to Houston for 2 first rounders. So I was like, all right, damn. But all right, so we couldn't get the Houston pick, and then we also lost out to my man Sengun. But Sengun gives me big
for 2 picks. God damn,
first round picks. So yeah, like Houston really wanted him more than OKC did. OKC was like, I mean, we want him, but not 2 first round picks. So like, go ahead and have him. But Sengun, he was the MVP of the Turkish league. He's only like 18 or 19, and he's got just tremendous footwork. Like, I mean, he's
I've seen
got
this
old
big
school drop steps. Like, he'll just mix you in the post. Like, he's got defensive questions. He's not really a shooter, although he's intrigued people because he's had some step backs where people are like, wait a minute, is there some shooting ability there that would really open up his game? But on the low post, like he's a terror, and he's that young, so he's only gonna get better. So I really like the Sengun pick. And then at 23, they got Usman Garuba, which is one of the better defenders in the class for international from Real Madrid. So the Houston, with all that excitement and offense, they're going to need somebody to just be a lockdown defender and that be their thing. So I think Garuba was a perfect fit for them. He was strapping people in international play right now for Team Spain or whatever. But yeah, that's a great haul. And they got Josh Christopher too from Arizona State, who can he can get a bucket and he can do things on both ends. So I think those are four. Those are key pieces out of one draft. You got four, foundational pieces to add to Michael Porter Jr., to add to Christian Wood. So
John Wall.
John Wall, Kenyon Martin Jr. They got some players there. So yeah, I really like what Houston did to accelerate their rebuild in the post-Harden years. I think they might not be good, but they'll be fun to watch. If they lose them by 30, it's going to be fun. I don't care.
By 30. Then they got to find something to do with John Wall's carcass.
I think if John Wall healthy, they're gonna win games, like fully healthy all the way through the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's just such a big question mark. John Wall being healthy, like that's the huge question mark.
He can be a Chris Paul type. You know what I'm saying? But question marks.
Yeah, like I said, I might skip through some of these scenes, but at 4 is when the draft got crazy. This is when the left turn came, when Toronto shocked the world and they went for Scotty Barnes. Like, I've been on the Scotty Barnes hype because I thought he was going to go to OKC. So I was like neck deep in his tape trying to, figure out why Florida State fans were like religiously preaching the gospel of Scotty Barnes. And it looks like through the post, the pre-draft process and the workouts, like it looks like he spread that gospel to Toronto and in Orlando too, because he was climbing up the mock drafts from about the range of 7 to 6 to, he went to 4. I thought he was going to go 5 to Orlando, and that was still pretty high. But your man went 4 to Toronto. Toronto said, forget the Kyle Lowry replacement, forget the safe pick of Jalen Suggs. Like, we want the enigma that is Scotty Barnes. And this is risky. But it also, I kind of like it too for how ballsy it is. This is a ballsy, just like, we know what makes more sense on paper, what everyone says we should do, but like, fuck it. Scotty Barnes is our guy, and we're going with him. We're going with a 6'9". I don't think he's going to play point guard in the league, but in Florida State, he was a 6'9" point guard with the build of like a Draymond Green, who can defend 1 through 5, give you just crazy defensive energy and versatility, running pick and rolls, doing all types of crazy athletic stuff, like just being a terror and just impacting winning in an incredible way. But now, and that's going to be an issue. So I don't know how much point guard you're going to play in the NBA. I mean, if Ben Simmons gets away with it in the regular season, but straight up, like, he's going to have to work on that jumper. Scotty Barnes is going to have to refine a lot of parts in his game because he's still very raw, but there's a whole lot of potential there. Think of like a Draymond with some offensive potential and a little bit more of a ball handling. And I think
IQ going.
Yeah, so I think that could be big. You add him with like I said, I'm not sure what they're going to do with Pascal Siakam, but you got OG Anunoby there. They got Gary Trent there long term now. You've got Van Fleet there. There's some interesting pieces. I'm interested to see the direction that they're going to go with this.
I just saw him at Drake's house. You know what I'm saying?
He did that. Question: what do you think they should do with Pascal at this point?
It's one of those teams where I'm not sure what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not quite sure what their direction is yet, because like Scotty Barnes picking him, that signals to me that Pascal Siakam might be on borrowed time and he might be on the trade block, honestly, because like I see a lot of overlap with that skill set, and like Scotty Barnes could very certainly be a replacement for Pascal Siakam, going forward, and be that point forward role, and let since Van Fleet's he's more of a scoring guard anyway, and Gary Trent, so like you can do some hybrid stuff again. Like we're we're in the era of positionless basketball now, and I think you're seeing a lot of teams lean into that now. And I think that was the Raptors doubling down on that. Like, we know we need a traditional point guard, but we're good. You know, we're gonna go with Scotty Barnes, and we're gonna do this in a more modern way. So, like I said, I believe in the Raptors because they're really good at player development and bringing in talent. So, I'm just curious to see. They're one of the few teams where I just don't know what the plan is. I'm not in their draft room or with their GM, so I'm not sure the direction they're trying to go. Some of that is clearing up in free agency with some teams, but not for the Raptors yet. I haven't seen, like, other than them. I knew they were going to bring back Gary Trent because you wouldn't trade for him for as much as they did if they didn't want to keep him. But other than that, not quite sure the direction they're going. So that'll be interesting to see.
When they drafted him, Kendrick Perkins was like, if I'm Pascal, I'm trying to be on the first thing smoking.
Yeah, it's like that doesn't spell a lot of confidence in Siakam when you have Anunoby and Siakam on the roster already, and you went with Scotty Barnes. So that is what it is. I mean, we'll see. I like Scotty Barnes. Could be a reach.
Guys, I have breaking news. I got breaking news. Sorry to interrupt. But the Pelicans are getting Devontae Graham on a 4-year, $47 million contract on a signing trade.
That's good. I like that move for the Pelicans.
That's a good one. Great move.
Yeah, Graham now they got Book Knight there in Charlotte. Graham's got to go. You know what I'm saying? He was odd man out. He wasn't really getting minutes anyway with Rozier and the emergence of LaMelo. We
talked about this earlier too. Like, somebody got to go with a guard rotation in Charlotte. It was him.
Yeah, he was. That writing was on the wall. We could see that from the minutes that they allocated at the end of the year. And then, like I said, once James Bouknight kind of slid to them, I don't think they're expecting to get Bouknight because he was also a high riser in the draft process. So a lot of teams had him. I mean, a lot of mocks had him going to OKC. So him sliding all the way down to 11 or wherever it was, like, Charlotte had to take him. It's a good look. Him and LaMelo Ball going forward as your backcourt. And they were able to snag Kai Jones. We might as well give the Hornets their A now for their draft grade because, I mean, one of them just lucky. Sometimes a good player falls to you. That's kind of what happened with Bouknight. But them going back up in the first round to get Kai Jones that was a great move because a lot of people had them mocking to get Kai Jones at 11 or wherever they were. So the fact that Kai Jones slid to 17 or 18, I forgot, wherever, 22, I forgot, whatever pick it was, and them to jump back up. I think that was a great move. So they basically got their guy anyway, and then they got James Bouknight on top of that because they slid. So that's a great haul on draft night. Right after you draft LaMelo Ball, you got two possible long-term running mates for him. That's a great job. I'm not as high on Bouknight as some other people, but Bouknight definitely is. He can get a bucket. And like I said, apparently he was tearing up those workouts because he was rising up all these draft boards. Even though he slipped a little bit, he ended up slipping at the end, but they did pretty good. But in going back, like I said, kind of jumped out of order. But the Magic, they had the most awkward position because I don't think anybody was expecting Scotty Barnes to go up 4. So the Magic, already having 3 young point guards on the roster, are pretty much forced to take Jalen Suggs. I mean, that's still a win. You figure out, like, when you're as bad as the Magic, you accumulate talent and you figure it out later, bro. You just get the best players you can. You flip deals later. You just need to get the assets. And there's no way you can pass on Jalen Suggs, like, when your team is that bad, straight up. So, like I said, it might be the end of RJ Hampton in Orlando, or hopefully, like I said, not Markelle Fultz. I mean, I think they just paid Markelle some money, so he might be a little safer since he got a little bit of money from the Magic. So there's a financial investment to keep Markelle Fultz. But Cole Anthony's only been there for a year. I think Cole Anthony could function as an elite 6-man, or if that's the direction they wanted to go. So I think that's fine. You can keep about 3 of them, but 4 is too many point guards in your rotation.
Yeah, way too many point guards.
You're gonna have to figure out what to do with that. But I would have done exactly what they did. I would have been like, damn, this is awkward. They used all them 5 minutes on their clock, probably looking for trades or whatever. But at the end of the day, if there are 4 elite prospects in the draft and you can pick one at 5, then you go ahead and do that. You got to take Jalen Suggs because at worst he's just a great point guard, starting point guard for you for like a decade. Like, that's like his floor, and his seeing is like top NBA All-Star. So you just pick the winning player and you figure it out later. That's just the Magic. After the Vucevic deal, they just admitted, like, we don't know. We're rebuilding. Like, we don't know what you're doing. Like, we weren't close, so we're just gonna blow this thing up. So we'll see what they do.
If he doesn't pan out, he was like, dang, I really wanted to see him at quarterback, see what he was gonna do.
Yeah, he would have been a
Because I was
monster
watching him
football
hard,
player.
like in high school. He down out there in Minnesota. And boy, it was a beast at quarterback. And then he was playing basketball with Hersey and Mercy.
Yeah, man. He's just a leader, man. He's just like a floor general. That's the floor general you want. He reminds me of Jason Kidd quite a bit of just bringing all those winning qualities. And he's a freak athlete too. I think people underestimate how freakish of an athlete he is as
It's
well.
ridiculous.
Like,
No, that's ridiculous.
yeah, he's a ridiculous athlete, and he's also, like I said, the floor general leader that you would want as a point guard. 6'4", he's got good size. Like, there ain't anything too bad about that. But I'm gonna jumping around a little bit, but let me get to the Wizards, the hometown team.
Hey man,
They had an interesting draft night, to say the
rebuild for us
least.
too.
So, like I said, they ended up being involved in the blockbuster trade for draft night. Russell Westbrook was one and done for the Wizards.
I already knew
He is
that.
on his fourth team in 4 years. You can say what you want about that, Russ haters, but
I'm not a hater, but I knew he wasn't going to be with us after the past season.
yeah, because that was one of the more frustrating situations. Because like I was saying this religiously, like you just got to blow it up. Because like at best, we saw what this team was. Even if they got off to a better start, even without the COVID and everything, this team wasn't good enough to challenge anyone. They got wiped out by Philly. Like they weren't good enough to really contend with the Beal Westbrook with the way it's constructed now. And there wasn't really a lot of flexibility, especially with Davis Bertans' contract, to really do anything else to get better. Like Bertans just needed to be better than how he played for the amount of money that he was making. Like I like Bertans, but he's getting $80 million to do one thing, and he's only good at one thing. He only brings one thing to the table. So if your man's off on his threes, like that's a wasted money. And like he needs to.
Oh man.
Yeah. So but I like what the Wizards did. I'm going to give them an A for creativity. I'm going to give them an A. And this is why I'm going to give them an A. They needed to get off of Russell Westbrook's contract. And like, I don't know how many teams would have taken that. And not only did they get off of that contract and give themselves some cap flexibility, they got real assets back. Like you can say what you want about KCP, but that's a good role player in the NBA. It's a solid 3-and-D. Harold, we've seen what he can do as a six man and just wreaking havoc as a post threat. And then Kyle Kuzma. People have short memories because he's been a meme, but Kyle Kuzma is a good young talent who can get buckets, and he's showed that he can be a winning player on a championship team and play a good role, even taking a back seat for the Lakers. So like Kuzma is a great asset to get back for a player, Westbrook, who is aging poorly. I mean, let's keep it real. Like he's not aging great. His game is not translating great to the new NBA, to the direction things are going. So it's like, I think it's brilliant to get off that contract, even after 1 year. I don't care how it looks like that you get, and they got their first round pick back that they lost in the Chris Paul trade. So it's like they got a first back. Use that first to flip for Aaron Holiday, who's a really underrated player, can help you right now. And he can slide in and be a point guard and a rotational player for you right now. And so like, that's great. And then they picked up Isaiah Todd in the second round. Very high upside, another G League Ignite dude. Very, very underrated. He can stretch it out. Reminds me of like LaMarcus Aldridge type potential of a stretch 4, stretch 5 type dude. So, yeah, I think they did really well. Corey Kispert. I mean, Corey Kispert may never be an all-star, but like at worst, he's going to be a Kyle Korver-esque sniper for you. Yep. And like every team could use a sniper of that caliber. Like Corey Kispert wasn't an aberration. It wasn't like he was shooting 4 threes a game. He was shooting like 6 threes a game at like 44% as a number one scoring threat on Gonzaga, like on a team that was damn near undefeated. Everyone was trying to stop this man. He's still ripping J's. So I like the pick of Kispert, especially if you're going to try to keep Beal. You get someone who can contribute and help right now, and then you also get someone who can project in the future and Todd. And then you pick up Aaron Holiday with that other first round pick, and you get the cap flexibility and get off Russell Westbrook. It ain't an A+, but like I think for the predicament they were in coming out of draft night, the Wizards are in a much better place. And even if they want to trade Beal, they've already set the groundwork for a rebuild. You know what I'm saying? I think they've got young assets back. Now they've got something to work with. I feel like they were kind of just stuck in that basketball purgatory before. If they kept Russ, they would be like, okay, we're going to be an 8 to 5 seed in the East and just perpetually get bounced and go nowhere. So it's like, that's the worst place you want to be. or you don't want to be that back end team. You want to be really good or really bad. Pick a struggle.
Yeah.
And then so I think this is the Wizards making an attempt to rebuild around Beal if he really just wants to stay, but also like give yourself flexibility. So if you got to blow it up, now there's actually some pieces to work with.
You got a better foundation if you're gonna blow it up.
Yeah, and a deeper team. Yeah, so like I said, you can do something with that, especially with the cap flexibility. If Beal is just one of those loyal dudes who wants to stay here, and that's a great move. But also, if you're going to move him, you can do that too. I would have moved him before the draft and try to get in the top 4. But like, if you couldn't do that, then like hold on to him. If you don't see a deal you like I said, it really depends on Beal. Like if he wants to stay,
I think he wants to stay.
Yeah, that all indications are he wants to stay. So like, I think what they did was great. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was going to work with Russ, so they flipped Russ into several pieces that they could use to actually build a team around Beal. So I like it.
You finessed the Lakers.
They did finesse the Lakers. Like that's going to be interesting with the fit because Russ is a non-shooter, so the spacing is going to be a predicament, and just the durability of the Lakers. Like that's an old team now. Like that's a team that's only getting older, especially if they get Melo and stuff like that. Like that's a team of they better stay healthy. I'm just saying the old body is going to be a lot of wear and tear.
AD can stay healthy.
All nursing home team.
Yeah, and like saying some questionable spacing. Like I said, Russell Westbrook really is such a unique player, and like I said, he brings a lot to the table, but he changes the way your team kind of plays, and there's going to be interesting adjustments that him and LeBron make, and Anthony Davis to try to stay out of each other's way and to make it work. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Russ going Russ, man. That's all I gotta say. Russ going Russ.
And the Warriors, man, like the freaking Warriors, man, like they had 2 lottery picks, and like I don't know if they're building and also ending at the same time. Like I'm sure that they want to flip these players for an established star, and I still think that's a possibility. But at the same time, like I was much higher on Jonathan Kuminga than most people, and to get him at 7, I think is a steal. Like yes, Kuminga has flaws and he's super raw and he's not ready to be a star now, but like give Kuminga like 3 years. Give him like if you have a team that's patient with his development, Kuminga has some real star potential. He's an aggressive scorer. He's got all the physical tools to be elite on both ends.
That's the good thing about Golden State, as they are. They kind of set the standard for building through the draft recently. Like just we're gonna build through the draft, and we're gonna have patience, and we're gonna develop these players.
Yeah, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, though, with the patience, though, because Steph and Clay and Draymond are getting up in age now, and it's like, all right, we can get them some help now, but then you can mortgage your future. They've already got a solid foundation of a future in Wiseman, Moses Moody now, and and their draft pick, they're all their picks. Moses Moody was 14, and who they pick is Kuminga. So like those 3 alone, and then you got Poole, and you got Pascal and stuff like that. So it's like they've got some pieces to work with. Of course, like I said, obviously I think they would much rather try to get an established star, and I don't know how much a package of Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman is worth, but like it's worth a fair deal. Like it ain't worth enough for Dame or Bradley Beal, but like I don't know who they could get. It's worth something. That's an attractive package for a team.
What legit star could they get?
Yeah, that's the question. Like who
Ben Simmons
is available? I mean, I'm sure they're talking about Ben Simmons. Asking prices that's crazy. But
they act like they don't want to get rid of Ben Simmons. But
that asking price, he ain't going nowhere. Like nobody's paying that for a non-shooter.
A really big point guard that can't shoot.
You got enough shooting in Golden State. Like just
there's some other like interesting teams. My OKC Thunder went an interesting direction with Josh Giddey. I was a little confused by that at first, but as I say, Josh Giddey, when you look at the film, like he literally just basically replicated what LaMelo Ball season in the NBA last year. He won Rookie of the Year this year. He's a 6'8" point guard playmaker. He led the NBL in assist as an 18-year-old. So like off the wall IQ and playmaking ability, but his offense is raw. Like his jumper doesn't look broken, so I think it can come around. But he shot low percentages. But so did LaMelo Ball again. So I think they're banking that this is just going to be white LaMelo Ball in terms of like his role on the team and like his ability to play make for everyone. But my question is like, is he going to be aggressive enough to threaten and pressure defenses enough to like really be a star rather than just a big Ricky Rubio? So like I'm a little worried about Josh Giddey's bust potential, but you know, the Thunder are going for upside. They're swinging for the fences and they're super patient and they're just like, we got time to develop them and they're great at player development. So I think Josh Giddey could be a really interesting fit. I just have no clue what the Thunder are doing anymore. I have no clue who's even going to be on the roster when the year starts. I have no clue of what the timetable or plan is. We're still stockpiling first round picks. I don't know how many first round picks you need. I don't know. Eventually you got to cash in all this ridiculous capital. And it seems like Presti is just content to try to accumulate as many first round picks as humanly possible, more than can fit on a basketball roster. We've got like 20 of them in the next like 7 drafts. Like, I don't know why you need that many first round picks, or eventually don't you want to like use them to select someone high? But like, I don't know. I ended up trading back and getting more picks. So I was like, I guess we're trying to be good in like 8 years, but I'm not sure what's happening here. Maybe I trust Sam Presti. I mean, he's Sam Presti. He's got the clout. Maybe he's got a master plan, but right now it just looks like they're just going for the longest rebuild of all time, the most patient rebuild.
No, they better not get rid of Shea,
trust the process 2.0.
Like that'd be fucked up.
Yeah, it's not, I don't think it's as bad as a process where it's just like where they're just getting waxed and getting their ass beat for on purpose, but like they're definitely not super focused on winning. Like they're more on just like getting players minutes and developing players and just like, we want to see who's worth keeping around. But it's like, okay, eventually you got to like build a team instead of a theoretical team. Like the Thunder are a theoretical team. Like in 3 years, this could be dangerous, but like, that's not very fun to watch for 3 years, you know, watching Pokashevsky try to figure it out and watching, you know.
Hey, didn't y'all just pay Alex Len? Did y'all just Mike Muscala?
I don't think this offseason did. Does that just happen today or something? Like Muscala?
Yeah, I think that just happened today. Y'all paid Mike Muscala.
I didn't see that. He's just a solid bench piece. I mean, he's a good locker room dude. People like Muscala. He can shoot it. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a long-term piece, but like, who knows? Like that's my whole point. No clue what the Thunder are even doing, other than just accumulating a comical amount of first-round picks to just prove a point or something.
Theoretic physics.
Yeah, just control all the drafts and just be like, one draft they're just going to be like a LeBron James, or they're just waiting for like a Monty Bates or something to come out and just be like, we're going to offer 18 first-round picks to trade up to number 1 and just do whatever. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know what the plan is. Like, I don't know why you need like 20 first-round picks in like 7 years. Like, I don't know. You can only have like 15 dudes on your roster at a time. We just added 4 more players this year. Like,
that's one of those deals on 2K. You'd be like, well, listen, I got 1 first-round pick. No. 2 first-round pick. No. 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, they just put themselves in a position to like make any trade offer and just offer like 10 unprotected first-round picks for whoever they want in the league.
That's flexing.
And I want Kevin Durant now. Give me 10. I got 10 first-round picks for you right now for Kevin Durant.
We're going to try to get Dame or something. And it's like, here, we're just going to give you 15 first-round picks to Portland.
He gets 15 of them things.
All of them.
A decade's worth of first-round picks for somebody.
Matter of fact, you can have Luka. Give me all your first-round picks in the next 20 years. I want 20 years of first-rounders.
And I saw we were talking about earlier, Tim Hardaway Jr. I said I wasn't going to pay him $100, but they paid him $72. That's good. That's a good number. Like I said, that's why I say you keep him, but like, for how much do you keep him though? Like, you ain't getting up one of those Knicks contracts again. Fool me once, but you're not.
Where is the money scale in that? If Bertans get $80 million, Hardaway gets 74. What is 74?
He got 72 for 4 years. Bertans
market
on a 5-year, I think.
Is that a market type thing?
Yeah, it's different people set the markets at these different positions. So like shooters are at a premium. Like you see the market's even risen. Duncan Robinson getting 90 mil over 5 years. Just He does one thing on the court. He just shoot. But like
I remember so vividly when I say we, the Washington Wizards paid Otto Porter.
Yeah. Oh, I talked about that earlier. Yeah, that was one of the worst. That doomed the John Wall era, honestly, because that strapped them to cap flexibility, and they couldn't do anything beyond that. And I said it. I was screaming from the rooftops to be like, I like Otto Porter, but he is not that guy. I was looking at the numbers, like he's shooting like 4 threes a game. So yeah, he's shooting leads the league in 3-point percentage, but he's not shooting enough of them.
Yeah.
He's shooting like 2 of 3 and hitting like 2 or 3 a game. That's good, but like that's not a big enough sample size for me to give someone $100 million.
He was a better
defender scoring 13 points a game and not making a huge impact with those 13 points a game. Either.
He was a better defender, and then didn't Sacramento want to pay him that? I was like, give it to him.
Yeah, no, it was Sacramento and Brooklyn both like put offer sheets in on him. So it's like, yeah, Sacramento finessed the Wizards because as soon as he signed that $100 million, I was like, don't you dare match that. They're baiting you to match that. Even Sacramento don't want that. They're just gonna finesse you to overpaying them. Like that's all they're gonna do. Like Sacramento's so strapped for talent, they'll launch a contract to anybody who's willing to come play for them. So I was like,
when we said that, when they offered that, I was like, let Sacramento have him, man. Like for 100, come on, man.
Yeah, it's like, go ahead. Good luck, man. That's a great deal for you.
Get your money, my brother.
Go get your money, bro. Like, and at that point, you just got finesse. And we saw what happened. Otto Porter never got better after that. He never took a step.
I was happy when he shipped to the Bulls.
Yeah, and then he got his ass shipped again to the Magic. Like, so it's like he wasn't even starting for the Bulls. My man was coming off the bench making $100 million for the Bulls. Crazy.
Good, huh? What the future say?
Just like I said, I ain't mad at him, but it's just like, bro, like he's just not that guy. And the fact that the Wizards hamstrung their cap room, like when they needed a third star to go with Beal and Wall, they spent $100 million on Otto Porter, and then that's what they got. And it's just you could have got that production with somebody for half the money, a third of the money, get a 3-and-D 13 points a game dude, like who doesn't make. I've been in the press box for the Wizards, and like I've had other people laughing at my jokes, not trying to roast them, but I'm just like, it'd be like the third quarter of a game, and I'd be like, oh, I forgot Otto Porter was fucking playing. Like I forgot he's just out there. Like, I mean, he's got like 7 points, quiet points. He's just out there, but it's just like he's just not out there making that pop-in impact where you like, oh yeah, he's really affecting the game. Like he's just out there, you know, he's decent, but it's just like what you can't be making $100 million, and I'm watching a game 3 quarters in and forget your plan. Like, is he hurt? Oh no, he's there. He's standing in the corner. Okay. Okay. All right. There he is. Like, what's he got? You know, quiet 6 points or something. Like that's you can't use up that much of your cap flexibility on that. And that's the issue. And that's what some teams are going to try to avoid. There's going to be some tough contract decisions teams have to make. And we're seeing some of them being made. And sometimes players just go get your bag. Like, Alex Caruso, I didn't expect him to be worth $37 million on the open market, but go ahead, get your money in Chicago. Him and Lonzo living it up. Do your thing. Reunited.
Mm-hmm.
The Pelicans got finessed, so like they lost Lonzo, but they got Thomas Satoransky and Garrett Temple back. So, ouch. But you know,
I just looked at Satoransky getting cooked in the Olympics.
Yeah, Satoransky's a little disappointing. I liked him a lot. He's very super athletic and just doesn't do enough with that athleticism.
I like him for the Wizards for a hot second.
Yeah, like I mean, he's had some good games too, but he's not consistent enough to be that solid starting point guard for you. Like I said, it's crazy because he's a freak athlete. I mean, you just wouldn't expect him to be so incredibly gifted and athletic, but
and he like 6'7" or some shit.
Because he don't use it.
Yeah, he just doesn't use it. Yeah, it's like I remember when I was working with the Wizards, they said he was the most athletic player on the team, you know, outside of maybe like Wall. And it's like, that's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, really? Satoransky? Like, he was like, yeah, dog. And people's like, he's crazy bounce, man. Like, you never see it though. And that's the issue. Like I always have issues with players like that. That was the thing I was talking about with the Clippers drafting Keon Johnson. I think that's a great value for where they got him, especially with Kawhi being out. But it always worries me when a player is like vertical is their biggest hype. You know what I'm saying? Like their biggest selling factor is like he had a 48-inch vertical, but did he play good in the games though? Like did he
jump out the gym? Though. Forget the playing in the gym. I can jump out of it.
Yeah, it's like so I know he can jump straight and slap some little things in the air. That's cool. I mean, but like, can he hoop though? So like Keon Johnson, and same with Zaire Williams too. Memphis reached and looked like they were trading up for Josh Giddey and ended up with Williams, who, like I said, I think he's got Paul George potential. Like he's got all the frames. Like if you saw him walk in the gym and shoot around, you'd be like, oh hell yeah, this guy. And then he just didn't hoop at Stanford. He had a really up and down season where shooting under 30% from three, just struggling a lot. So it's like, I know that guy is good. He's like 6'9", he's got handle, can shoot theoretically. Like the jumper looks good. He's clanking everywhere, but like mechanics look good. He looks all the makings of a star that didn't perform like a star. So that's where your player development team comes in there and it's like, can you turn him into, reach their potential? And I'm a big fan of taking flyers on players like that, but maybe not trading up in the top 10 to do it. So like I'll be a little worried for Memphis on that track, but they've been doing really, really hot on their draft picks lately. So I would trust their front office to get some talent around John Morant. I think the Steven Adams deal was a little hurt them a little bit, but like I said, because it was for that pick. So I was like, you lost Valanciunas. Valanciunas is slept on. He's underrated. He can play. That's going to be very helpful for Zion and them. But then they lost their point guard. So I don't know what's going on in the Pelicans. I feel like Zion is just counting the days where he's going to be free from there. Just like Anthony Davis.
Issues, right? So he's definitely counting his days.
Yep, he's just like hollering. He's looking at the Knicks with his boy RJ up there, like, hey, couple of years, we might have to run that back and team up. So who knows? Like I said, we'll see. The Knicks are spending some money. I don't know if I would have spent that much money to retain someone like Nerlens Noel. Alex Burks played well for them, but I mean, we'll see.
CJ, why? I'm sorry. I mean, I know they played good last year, but Jesus Christ, Nerlens Noel, $37 million. Oh man. I just feel like there was other.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's starter money. So it's like, what's up with Mitchell Robinson at this point? Like, I feel like you're giving him some starter money. So
he's up out of there, man. They don't even give him minutes no more.
But like I say, you gave all that money to Evan Fournier too. So like, I mean, Fournier is a good player, but I don't really see the fit. Like, I feel like the Knicks just really need a point guard, and like bringing Derrick Rose back is good. Like that fills in, but like Derrick Rose, obviously for age and durability concerns, like I feel like you should have a young point guard.
They still got Frank Nikola Smokes, Frank Ntilikina. They gonna make him a starter. They had him start all last year, and then bring Derrick Rose off the bench until the playoffs where they started Derrick Rose.
Yeah, they had Elfrid Payton in that bitch, like just being Elfrid Payton. Like, so like that's why I was just like, can we get a point guard? I'm surprised that they didn't go that way in the draft and at least like take a flyer on like a Sharif Cooper or something like that, who's going to Atlanta, who had another great draft. Like Atlanta they always just have great picks just fall in their lap. Like they don't even need them. They just be like, oh, Sharif Cooper's here. That's a perfect backup for Trae Young. Two undersized guards. If Sharif Cooper just can't shoot to save his life. So if they can, that's a perfect guard to work with him and mentor him. Like I would be in the gym with Trae Young every day trying to get my jumper right. So I think that's a great spot for Sharif Cooper to be a backup point guard. They got Jalen Johnson, like all the talent on Atlanta on Kongwu. They've got Cam Reddish. They've got Herter. They've got, they've got talent just out the wazoo. Just that's going to be a dangerous team for years to come. Like Atlanta. Yeah, they're here to stay. Like they ain't going anywhere. Nate McMillan got that team right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference, man, they're trying to make some noise.
Yeah, in Brooklyn, Cam, they got one of the best scorers in the draft. So Brooklyn did well too to try to fill out their bench, and we'll see what happens with Dinwiddie. So I think it's still a great possibility that he ends up being a Wizard or something. But
Wizards,
flip him, for Kuzma or something. But we'll see. I would still want to keep Kuzma if I was a Wizards, honestly. But we'll see. I definitely would be open to flipping him for a point guard, though. Dinwiddie, I've been a big fan of Dinwiddie for a long time, singing his praises since I also thought he was the better guard when D'Angelo Russell was there, even though he got all the hype and the sauce. But like in terms of like who was carrying them, I was like Dinwiddie is the much more consistent guard of those two. And I think we even see that today. Like D'Angelo Russell is great on the offensive end, but he don't do a lot on defense, and he's really streaky and inconsistent. It's like Minnesota too. They're in a weird place where it's like you guys have just perpetually sucked, and like I don't know what the plan is to be good. Are you going to try to do Cat and D'Angelo Williams and Anthony Edwards and try to build around that? Or are you going to try to move off of? I mean, I feel like Cat would want to be traded at this point. Nobody wants to stay in Minnesota for longer than they need to. Like that's a hellscape in the basketball world. You just want to escape as soon as you can. Kevin Love escaped. KG escaped. It's time for Cat to get out.
Yeah. Blake Griffin just agreed to a 1-year deal.
Yeah, he stayed.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. I didn't expect him to go anywhere. It's a perfect fit for him.
And
honestly,
then, Norman Powell agreed to a 5-year, $90 million deal to return to the
Blazers. Yeah, I figured they trade for him, and he was a good fit for them. They opened up the floor.
In real.
So free agency still flying and still popping. I don't have any big Fs other than the goddamn Sacramento Kings. What are they doing? It's the only team giving like an F. Like, and I like Davion Mitchell. It's got nothing to do with Davion Mitchell. He's a good player. He's actually a really good player. But like somebody got to get traded. This is like a Magic situation. Like this backcourt is insanely crowded now. And then you got whatever's happening with Marvin Bagley. Who knows? They might lose Rashawn Holmes, who is one of the few bright spots on the team. Harrison Barnes is still overpaid. He's a solid player, but like he just makes too much money. I just don't know. De'Aaron Fox has averaged 25 a game, had his best season. He's still improving. I'm a big De'Aaron Fox believer, but like, is he getting traded? I mean, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, why do you Buddy Hield is clearly on the trade block. I mean, everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So, but is De'Aaron Fox on the trade block? I assume Tyrese Halliburton isn't. You just drafted him. He came in third in Rookie of the Year standing. So like he's pretty damn good. So I assume you're gonna go with Halliburton and Fox and Mitchell, or Buddy Hield is good as gone, but just have no clue what the Kings are doing. I thought that was just a weird pick. Davion Mitchell in the top 10. I think you could have gotten him a little later than that. He's just undersized. He's 6 feet tall. That's going to be an issue in the NBA it just is. So, I mean, I definitely think he's still a winning player. He reminds me of like a lot of Marcus Smart, and he actually might have more offensive upside in terms of being like a better shooter. He's like a dog on defense. He could be like a Patrick Beverly, just an attack dog that you just sick on people on defense and just make their life miserable. So I love dogs like that and the physicality, and like he's definitely a piece that can contribute to winning now. But I don't know what again, one of those teams where it's like, what's the plan? What are you guys even doing? Like, what are you building around? Who are you building around? Like, what's the timetable? What's the goal here? Like, so maybe again, they might have some plan and some trades lined up that I don't know about, but as of right now, they just look goofy with a backcourt full of players that don't fit together.
The good old Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, perpetual just garbage.
It's just like in every league, it's just like there's these random teams that just feel like they just don't want to get better. They're just like, okay, this is what we do, baby. We're on the losing side, baby.
Oh yeah, the Spurs got to be a loser too with Josh Primo. That was a weird pick. Like the Spurs went with combo guard. He's 18. I barely saw any of Josh Primo's because he averaged like 8 points a game, and like I didn't even notice him. But he's got upside, but it's just like he was picked at like number 12 or something, and like he was projected to go way back at the end of the first round. Like I'm talking like 24 through 30 range. Damn. So for the Spurs to yank Josh Primo when it seems like nobody was in the market for Josh Primo that early was weird. It's like you could have traded back to get him, and he's so raw. He's 18 years old. You see the potential. Like, oh, he got a J, but like 8 points a game. I don't like those players that don't have high production. You know what I'm saying? That don't produce, where it's like, okay, I see the theoretical, potential, but like the Spurs already have a crowded backcourt with Lonnie Walker and Murray. It looks like Murray's on a trade block maybe, and some things like that. So it's like I feel like you got a bunch of guards, young guards. So I don't know where Primo fits in, but I just felt like that was a reach. That was just scratching my head at that pick. The Spurs have kind of lost their luster for me. And I feel like it's pretty much all the teams that were eventful. Like some teams didn't pick. at all. They traded out of the draft like Phoenix. They don't really need any picks and things like that. And Philly got Jaden Springer. I think that helps. That can help them. Like I said, the Magic. Other than Suggs, I like Franz Wagner, little brother of Mo Wagner, who I call Go Ahead Mo, for a former Wizard. Kind of backup center dude is pretty good, but Franz Wagner is much better than his brother. He can do it on both ends, so I think he's going to be slept upon. But that's an instant starter forward for the Magic. And yeah, Trey Mann for OKC, one of my favorite players in the draft. Trey Mann is just a walking bucket with the best ankle breaking crossover in the draft. So he's going to be fun on that OKC squad of just young guns of knows what they're doing, but could be fun. I like the unorthodox positionless basketball. They got Pokashevsky and Giddy and these weird, tall, positionless players. I'm all in for it. I believe in the legend of Poku, and I'm not going to give up on Poku. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my draft grades. I don't think anybody else has anything like super eventful. Like I said, Lakers didn't make any picks. Like I said, just going through here. Indiana did okay with Chris Duarte. I mean, he's a 24-year-old rookie, so the Pacers are kind of going for these like mature, help us right now players. So I think that's a good fit. He's a sniper, real safe pick. He doesn't have a high ceiling, but he's got a super high floor where it's just like, do you just need someone who can just knock down some shots for you right now, play some defense? And yeah, this is a good draft, man. I think Denver did good with Bones Highland too from BCU, because he can step in and while Murray recovers, and he's a great fit for Denver, who does great in the draft. Denver just quietly and sneakily come away with great talent every year. So it's a good draft. Like I said, it was really hard to mess up this draft. When you can get someone like even Brooklyn getting, like I said before, Cameron Thomas at 27, he might be a walking bucket. He can contribute for them right now as a bucket getter, especially if they get injuries like that and they kind of like the playoffs and they need somebody else to get a bucket. So it's Bruce Brown time every time, at the end of the game.
Bucket, playing next to the walking bucket, right?
Yeah, straight up. So yeah, fun draft. Like I said, a lot of teams got better. A lot of teams are scratching their heads and figuring things out. But we got one blockbuster trade and another super team to deal with. The Lakers have gone from big duo to a legit super team. So now we've got fantasy basketball going on in LA and Brooklyn at this point.
That's not. I mean, Russ he's going to add something. It's not that super to me. It's like
I gotta see it.
You got Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy.
I gotta see it, man.
Russ still a star, man. Like I said, I just don't like the way his game is aged. Like I said, he led the league in turnovers by like 30 turnovers over Luka, who's someone who one was healthy the whole season and one handled the ball way more than Westbrook, because Westbrook and Beal and even Ish Smith had a lot of usage on the ball. So and Westbrook missed a bunch of games too with the COVID and stuff like that. So the fact that you led the league in turnovers by 30 whole fucking turnovers, that's a lot. That's a lot of turnovers, bro, for a veteran point guard who I need to be taking care of the ball. And I know his assist numbers are high, but I'm looking more at assist turnover ratio than just assists. I need you to get those assists without a bunch of turnovers every night. And also, like I said, the shooting percentages, the fact we talked about this earlier off air, but the fact that Russ still has no floater and he still can't shoot. It's bro, those are essential skills. You need to be shooting over 30%, dog. It just needs to, you need to do that.
The Lakers organization was torn anyway. I read somewhere that said they had a strong level of disagreement on Westbrook.
I can believe that. He's a polarizing player. You either love him or you hate him. So he brought some winning qualities to the Wizards. He was a big part of them making their playoff push, but at the same time, he's also a big part of the flaws of the team too. So it's really hard to calculate the good and bad that Westbrook brings, because he brings you so much good, but he also brings you those crazy turnovers, those bricks, and that icy shooting sometimes. So, and that poor decision making from your point guard who can't afford to make poor decisions and turn the ball over.
That's what it is for me, is the decision making, not even the bricks. It's the decision making.
Yeah, in the postseason, especially.
You pick the most inopportune time to break.
Or to make a bad player, to try to split the defense and get stripped and lose the ball, or to take a horrid shot that it just flies off the backboard or something. Like, bro, like I just don't, and you just can't trust his jumper. Yeah, he'll hit a clutch three every once in a while, but like only when it's clutch and only when it's luck. Like you just don't trust it. You know what I'm saying? You don't trust him as a shooter. And in the playoffs, again, it's not as bad as Ben Simmons, but the same thing happens. Like defenses just collapse all over him, and he's not as athletic as he used to be to just dunk over everyone and finish over everyone. Like now, he's got to find a way to be savvier in his finishes. Until I see a floater, I'm going to be really worried about his pull up game and like how he handles these pick and rolls when people just crash on him. They're just going to cheat under and not go over. Like there's no point to go over his screens.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with him in LA. I mean, he got to go home, I guess.
Yeah, it's a perfect spot for him to try to get it together. This is a ring chasing opportunity for him. This might be his last chance to really get one.
That's what I was thinking to myself. Like, if you don't make it work with LeBron, nigga, like
his list of teammates and no rings is going to be egregious. That's just going to be the worst.
You play with LeBron and KD. Like,
you play with LeBron, KD, Pete, Paul George, Bradley Beal, James Harden.
James Harden, you play
twice.
Straight goats.
Like Victor Oladipo, for whatever it's worth.
You play with some great players, like
it's like
Melo. Don't forget that super team with Melo.
I don't think Melo can at this point in his career is the super team dude, but he's still a good bucket. He still gets you some points, but like Melo's not a star anymore. I would consider
to me anyway. Hypothetically, let's just say every team is healthy, they get to the playoffs, and the Lakers somehow get to the finals. And then Brooklyn is fully healthy. Brooklyn's still going to beat the Lakers.
I would see Brooklyn washing them. But like I said, but again, that's a matchup thing, though, because like Brooklyn is also super small. So like the Lakers are a bad matchup for Brooklyn. So like that could be more entertaining than it seems on the surface because like Blake Griffin's going to be playing the 5 for you. Anthony Davis is going to destroy him. And then you're going to have LeBron going to be able to get to the rim because Blake Griffin's not a rim protector at this point. And then you're going to have a big guard. Westbrook is a huge point guard. He's a huge, strong point guard still. So he's going to have a size over a lot of, smaller guards. So it's like the Lakers, and then they're bringing back Dwight Howard. Like they're a huge team. Like they can play some big matchups. And I still think, like I said, depending on Anthony Davis's health, that's really what it's going to hinge on.
Yeah, so it's AD's health. That's the main thing.
I'm excited for next season because you got Golden State coming back. Jamal Murray gonna be healthy. Motherfucking Brooklyn. Hopefully we see a full power Brooklyn. I mean, that's a lot to ask for. It was cute. It was cute last year in the finals with the Bucks. Y'all got y'all ring. Boom, bam, boom. See y'all later. Now we got real business to get to. Like everybody's going to be healthy. It's going to be competitive.
James Harden played himself for doing the most to get out of Houston. You know what I'm saying? Came in out of shape.
I mean, he won though. Like he ain't play himself. He got to the destination.
He got
won.
to.
He pulled a hammy.
He got what he wanted.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have pulled that hammy in Houston and been in a losing team. So it's like, I mean, he got where he. I mean, it's messed up the way he did it, showing up out of shape and trying to give his whole teammates COVID, but like. Like he got it done. He got to where he needed to be, where he wanted to be. He went right back
on the road a little bit. He's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, my man lost that weight. He pulled that fat suit off and was like ready. He got in Brooklyn, was immediately in shape, motivated. So, like, hey man, like
it is what it is.
It worked out for him. Like I said, Brooklyn, they just lost for health. You know what I'm saying? Like if
it worked
they needed at least 2 of the 3 to get where they needed to be.
Yeah,
and they only had 1.
Milwaukee. The most.
And they still almost got, like I said, they were Kevin Durant's pinky toe away from.
Toe. That's what I was telling him. I said, you lucky Kevin Durant don't wear size 13. He was 16, 13.
So even down 2 of their 3 stars, they still almost got it done. So it's like, I mean, of course, Brooklyn's going to be there. They just need 2 of their 3 is enough to get them to the promised land.
Actually was a 3. That might have been the best goddamn shot in NBA history. Like just single-handedly fucking a team over. Like that probably would have been the best shot. But
on
He's
Damn,
carrying the
long
team because,
for
like I said,
that.
Brooklyn doesn't have a lot of depth because of that Harden trade. They
Yeah,
they
that's what I
nuked
was
their
saying.
depth. So like
Yeah.
that was the worst case scenario for them. It's like the only way this could go wrong is if one or two of your stars gets hurt, and two of their three stars got hurt. Kevin Durant was trying to carry Bruce Brown across the finish line. There just wasn't enough
They
there.
would have won if Joe Harris would have played. Okay.
Yeah, he played like ass. He shit his pants on national
Like,
TV.
bro, you got
Joe
one
Harris.
job, bro. You be wide open in bricking. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he went from
Blake
50% three. He
played
just looked
great,
like the lights were too bright for him. It was too much pressure.
Just
Like
like
Joe
the
Harris.
mob came to him and was like, yeah, you make a certain percentage. We chop your leg off. You're gonna be sleeping with the fishes. You understand?
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for Joe Harris. Like I said, because he was playing
That's
so
what,
good.
if I was
before then.
RDC World, I would have made a video as Kevin Durant with Joe Harris. Like, for real though.
Yeah.
All right. Is that everything? Before we get out of here, predict your finals. 2022
It's too
NBA
early
finals.
too early for that, man. Like I
Go
gotta see
on,
what the
go
rest
on.
of free agency shakes. I don't even know who's playing for who. I don't even know what the roster's about to look like.
Oh, it's
That's
too
a hard one.
early? Too early? Okay.
Hey, I was right last year though. I'm still gonna harp on that, and for everyone that'll listen, that I did pick the Bucks to win the championship. Did I lose faith in them continually through the season? Yes, but I did pick them before the season started, and they made it all the way in.
You was like Charles Barkley.
Yeah, like I perpetually jumped. I tried to jump off the bandwagon several times, especially against Brooklyn. I was like, "There's no way they beat Brooklyn with Harden."
Charles Barkley never jumped off the bandwagon, but he just was always funny. He's like, I think they're gonna. He'd start off his statement. Oh, I think the Milwaukee Bucks going to win the championship. I really do. I think that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
I just thought the holiday move was enough to get them over the hump. Like I really thought that was what they needed. Where it's just like they just need a third dude. Like Middleton is good, Giannis is good, the team construction is good. They just didn't have a point guard that they could trust to be solid. Like you need someone other than Middleton to be a ball handler at the end of the game and make good things happen. So it's like they finally got that in Holiday, who's not like the most, like he's not the best playmaker out there in terms of point guard, but his defensive ability and just like he stepped up when it counted. He had some god awful shooting performances in the playoffs, but like when it counted, when he needed to drop that step back, it went in. So I was like, Holiday was just good enough to get them over the hump.
Yeah, I was just watching his or it might have been the second game in the Olympics. He was harassing people on defense.
He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the game, like straight up any position. So that is valuable. And the Bucks are a great defensive team because Giannis can switch 1 through 5. Holiday can switch 1 through 3, but he can bother 4s and 5s just with his defensive ability and his hands and stuff like that. So he can even play you tough in the post.
I was laughing at there was like now all 3 Giannis brothers. I mean not Giannis, Antetokounmpo brothers have a championship. I said correction. 1 has a championship. The other 2, I mean, yeah, sure.
Technically, they have championships. They didn't do much for them.
It was a little brother. He had LeBron. He rode LeBron and AD, and then his big brother is on his team. He was just like, and he was hurt, right? I mean,
his big brother's there to give out 6 good fouls a game.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he get in at every end of the quarter, so that's 10 seconds.
A few 10 bumps.
Use up them fouls. Like protect your brother. That's what he's on the roster for.
Keep your brother sane, basically. Like you're here for mental support for your brother,
right? Moral support. Yeah, just
keep him pumped up, keep him happy. Because we for damn sure can't. We couldn't even get Bogey. He almost left because we couldn't get Bogey.
Hey, the Bucks did it the right way. Like I said, they built their championship team the right way. There was no super team. There was no a free agent this, free agent that. They drafted a project player from the Greek league that nobody ever heard of. And then they got Chris Middleton and raised him up through the G League and developed him. He's a G League superstar turned NBA All-Star. And then they, like I said, the only piece was Holiday, and they did that via trade. So they traded their own assets for that. So it wasn't even like they just signed him for the bread. Like they spent 2 first-round picks to get Drew Holiday, so and Bledsoe or whatever. So they spent some capital to get him. So
I like that
That's a homegrown championship team in a small market. That's the best thing that can happen for the NBA.
Because people are calling him the super team slayer. I said no. I mean, he stuck with his team. He said, "I want to win a championship with the team that drafted me," and it's very respectable. But things had to shake his way for it to happen. I mean, it happened.
A pulled hammy from James Harden needed to happen.
You need a little luck on your side. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think he stood under the rim on. Yeah,
you can say the same thing with Kawhi in his Toronto championship, though. If Kevin Durant's ACL doesn't explode on national TV, then like
Raptors would have got washed. That game alone, when KD came back, if he didn't tear his Achilles, KD would have 50.
Yeah, so like I mean, Kawhi is all that load management. He's out here with a torn ACL too. So, and they're talking about Kawhi. Like I saw some other stories that they're talking about Kawhi might consider signing somewhere else. Like that would be wild and shocking. But like, I don't know. That would be interesting. Spice up our free agency.
What's up with this guy, man?
Yeah, they were
talking about no way to know what he's thinking. Like he's just a cyborg.
No one knows. Paul George over Russ and all this stuff. I was like, well, the first person he texted when he was going to LA was Kevin Durant. KD said, "No, I'm good. All right." So you had to defer to Paul George. He's like, Paul George or Russ. Oh man, this is a hard decision.
It's not a hard decision of who you want to play with, though. Like straight up, like said, Paul George looks super easy to play with. Like he plays within the flow of the game. He's unselfish. He doesn't take a super high volume of shots, like compared to like other superstars. Like Paul George's game is smooth and fits in anywhere. Like say he looks like he would be a great secondary, player to play with, secondary star as opposed to Russ, who is always going to rust. Russ is going to rust at this point. Like say, he is who he is. His game is what it is. Kevin Durant left town. Like every star he plays with, they don't say it publicly, but like
that's what it is.
It is what it is. They always end up moving on. Like Bradley Beal is one and done. James Harden twice. It didn't really fit. And there are reports that wasn't working out. Like like you said, we went down the list just a few minutes ago of all the great Hall of Fame players that Russell Westbrook has played with. Yet he keeps ending up with new teammates. So like, take that what you will.
And like you say, if you can't win with LeBron, it's just like you might as well just go to the Kings and just see what you
chance, dog, to win a ring.
Yeah, just
it's not even guaranteed.
To get a ring.
But just like,
matter of fact, if this doesn't work out, Knicks, man, New York Knicks, Russ for the Knicks, man.
No, stop sending
triple doubles every night.
Trash. He listen.
Triple doubles in the Garden every night.
Send us Kemba Walker. He tried to send us John Wall.
All those players would be great fits for you guys this year.
Why? Nobody else wants them. Leave us alone. Stop sending.
All right, you can stick with Elfrid Payton then. You enjoy Elfrid Payton.
No, get him out of here too. Like, dog. Like, oh my God. Because it's worse for me because I know we're gonna end up with one of these things. I know we just gonna end up with him. I just know we're not even going to
John Wall for cheap.
Oh my God.
Nick is baffling, but whatever.
You don't think John Wall can help? John Wall and Derrick Rose is a 1-2 punch?
Dog. How much is John Wall gonna play?
How much is Derrick Rose gonna play? Like, I mean, they both made a glass.
Derrick Rose stayed healthy. John Wall is only gonna give you 25 games a season. Then he's gonna be like, oh, my hip.
Give you 25 games. He's gonna give you like 5 stripper tips. He's gonna give you 16 Rose bar bottles. This man's running up the stats.
You do not want to have John Wall in New York. Are you kidding me? Come on, man.
Houston got clipped.
Yeah, but I say Houston is gonna be cheeks everywhere, bro. Like this man.
You can't have it. So send him to OKC. How about that? Y'all have fun with John Wall. Yeah, OKC.
We'll do him just like we did Chris Paul. Rehabilitate his career. This man will come here and cook, and then we'll just trade him for a first-round pick. So we do it everyone.
And then retrade him, repackage him, and get out of here.
Exactly what they're about to do with Kemba if we can't flip Kemba. It's like, all right, he's just going to play. We're going to make sure he plays real good for a year.
The best sure
another team wants him, first-round pick.
Playing every game.
Oh, my God. We didn't know he could be this good.
We're going to take the Lakers to 7 and then ship him out. Don't worry about it.
Ship him out for 2 picks. They'll get 2 picks out of that, man. All right, man. Is that everything, man?
Yeah, that's everything.
All right, man. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on a new episode of Fire Fadeaway. I'm your host, LK, the God, the Deity, the Mogul, wearing the Fire Squad merch. Come hit us, any one of us from the Fire Squad Mafia. We will direct you on how to get one. I have been here with C Jizzle, aka Puffco Poppy, live from Liberty Sizzle, and Goku Jordan coming back for the second time to talk hoops with the gang. Now, follow the gang everywhere, especially on Reddit, IG, Twitter, Discord, everywhere you have communities and groups. Also, like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Thank you. Tell us when you love them. Gang.
Gang.
That's a lot of stuff to say.